He had the pictures at home. Growing up, we always looked at, I loved looking at pictures. And my mom would do these things where she'd take pictures and put them in booklets and tell a little story. Our first house, you know, a first communion. So she'd put a narrative to these like memory points. But my dad's army pictures were all black and white. He was into photography, as a lot of guys from that era were. And so he, everything I saw from his military was like fun times. Oh, here I am standing with a broom. I'm on duty today. But I just thought the army was a hoot for him because he was a jokester. He was a cut up and people loved him. That Tyler. No, Tyler. But I think it was when Private Ryan came out, there was a time when the door opened and these old guys started remembering and starting feeling like it was time to talk about what happened. So in the case with my dad, he called up one day and said, "Rivers of blood." I was like, huh? What are you talking about? And he proceeded to, I'm glad I had a paper standing by. He proceeded to give me all these details about his tour in, it was Italy first, and then he got to a certain, so I said, whoa, wow. I ran and got a high-8 camera. I said, I'm coming over, I want to record you. This is amazing. Because I was always curious about it. I didn't know what he did in World War II. So then I went over there with the camera. I put a setup like I did today. I got his stuff around his flag and, things around him. And he was jovial. He was, talking about, oh, yeah, and then we went over here. They lost my papers. Nobody knew where I was supposed to be. And then suddenly he just looked the other way like this. And he went, cut it off. Mom said he came back different. So I'm thinking, what was that? What was that point where he went, cut it off? And he started crying. Because my take on him most of my life was that he was this fun guy over there having a hell of a time. And this is different. So that's when I started researching and asking questions, and I couldn't get anything out of him. He didn't remember. So I had to go around him and say things like, where did you eat? If you were driving a truck all the time, how'd you eat? Or, what if you had to take a big dump? Where'd you go? Or, Dad, what, if you're in the truck, because he'd talk about being stuck in mud and days and days. And then he talked about going into people's houses and seeing people evacuating, and they would wave whatever flag for whichever army was going by to survive. So the quote it off was the moment when he realized that there were a lot of civilians suffering. And he didn't sign up for that. No guys do. That was weird for him. And then when he went up to the Bulge, he had been in taking care of prisoners and stuff in France and was okay. Couldn't wait to get home. He'd gotten married in 1943 on a leave. He and my mom got married. I wanted to convey time, eras. So I used color to show you if it was the 40s, if it was there were times, part of that book is about my marriage had a glitch. Our marriage was in trouble. And so I have a color palette that expressed that. There was a different color palette for when my daughter was in crisis and suicidal. There was just my husband and I's daughter. So I had to juggle the color, right? 53 colors of ink. It's all made of ink. I didn't use watercolor. And I did everything with, I brought it to show. Some people might, writers have it easy as far as I'm concerned, because then I have to turn around, take these pens here and draw everything. Dip it in the ink bottle. So I had custom mixed 53 ink colors. There had names like Mom's Hair, there'd be Redhead or Denim or Lucky Forward, which was Patton's go words. This one, I can't read. A lot of stuff is at the art show right now. We can talk about later. But so I named them, and I named them to match the actions of what I was trying to convey on the pages. I don't have the pages from Soldier's Heart here to show, but they're about this big. And each page to draw took 20 to 40 hours to complete. And it's not like I'm a nut for labor intensivity, but it's like, that's my art form. It's what's required. Some pages jump right out. Other pages I have to work for. And they're all designed to convey the idea. So sometimes the words carry the meaning, and other times the artwork sells what I want to say. So it's like a back and forth. I'll say, do I want to show this or say it? Right here. What's the best way to sell this idea? Okay, I'll do it this way, and so on. So the color was a challenge, although once I had it figured out, it was no big deal. I knew that I could go to I made charts. I literally made charts, with their names of the colors, and then I set up my inks so that I could find it